What are common problems for low testosterone? I asked that exact question to 5 different testosterone experts. You are about to hear their answers right now, back to back. If you'd like the full interview with any of them, find that link in the captions. Christian Van Camp.
Lack of focus, brain fog, that purpose void I was expressing a little bit earlier. Like if you just feel like you just don't have something to provide for the planet, usually that's a big sign. It's like, okay, start working on those hormones. And also if you're just struggling with your physique, you're just having a ton of issues. You're just constantly packing on fat. Your cravings are all wonky. Like, that obviously isn't just related to testosterone. There's a lot of things going on there, but everything's interconnected. So I would say some of those things right there.
Jay Campbell.
The symptoms of a testosterone deficiency, so everyone knows, is not what they think it is. It's like the stereotypical thing is like, oh, I can't get a boner, or, I have no sex drive or something like that. But the reality is it's a lack of cognition. So a testosterone deficiency represents in serious brain fog in both men and women. I mean, when women have because you asked that question, when women have these hormonal deficiencies as they get older, it's the same thing. So testosterone, works in so many different biological systems and organ systems that when you have a deficiency, you do not have high energy, right? So the lack of energy leads to a lack of cognition.
Lucas Aoun.
Men that have low testosterone can actually be at greater risk for various metabolic diseases. They're at greater risk of even bone fractures, increased risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases. Low testosterone doesn't just, refer to performing in the bedroom. Low testosterone can really impact body composition, so muscle growth and fat loss.
Doc Farhan Kawaja.
Energy is a big one. Energy. In fact, energy is very interesting, right? Like, Ra, you know better than anyone about energy. I learn a lot of energy stuff from you all the time. But the energy, whatever limited knowledge I have about like the energies of the earth and my body and whatever I'm learning every single day, there's this craving for life, right? There's this thing like, okay, this is a very challenging task. I'm going to go and do it. This is difficult. Man, I don't know if this is for me, but I'm going to go and do it. Mm-hmm. So the challenge starts feeling good. There's this drive inside where you go and do things which you wouldn't have done in the past. So that's one. Another one, which I've noticed in myself and many clients, is simply losing fat. Now, that may be a testosterone growth hormone relationship and others, but this has been reported all the time, right? It's this increase of muscle, decrease of fat, and of course it's not just testosterone, it's an interplay of many molecules, but the physique, the look of somebody can be very well affected. Because when guys, after the age of 30, testosterone drops 1% to 2% every year. So for some people more than that, some people less than that. So guys who are in their 50s, 60s, their testosterone levels drop, and then they start taking injections, and which I don't recommend, none of that synthetic stuff. But it's because their energy is low. That's why they're doing it. And they don't have confidence in the bedroom, energy to do their work at their job.
Nick Caputo.
For starters, you just don't feel as good when you have low testosterone. A lot of guys, when they get their testosterone up finally, it's like a night and day difference. They're like, I didn't know how good I didn't feel yet. But we could get into it a little bit more specifically, because you could say that with a lot of things as far as health. So right. We can get into more detail. In general, I would say basically the opposite of all of the good things I said it does. It doesn't do if you don't have enough of it. So some common symptoms of low testosterone would be low energy, low motivation, no desire to compete or not really having any ambition, low sex drive or erectile dysfunction or any kind of like sexual dysfunction, really even like anorgasmia from hyperlactin, which will be due to low testosterone would be like the difficulty orgasming during sex, or when you do, it's like dulled, it's not as intense. Difficulty building muscle mass, higher levels of myostatin, which suppress muscle protein synthesis and make it a lot more difficult to put on muscle, insulin resistance, difficulty focusing, weak memory, anxiety, depression, perhaps cardiovascular disease or high calcium in your arteries.
I'm trusting that you learned from the varied perspective of these testosterone experts. We have all 5 of the most asked questions on testosterone in the other shows in this series. Find out what those questions are and listen to the answer that they have provided us.